guess I do have a cough developing. Oh God, it's found me. I'm plagued by the round boy.
What is a round boy?
Oh, the round boy, it's COVID. I was telling Hakeem before the recording, dear listeners, that I went to a wedding here in Zimbabwe, and there were a ton of people. It was a lot of fun. It was a really nice wedding, very special. But since then, people have been getting positive COVID tests back, and one of the people staying here with us is COVID positive. So I'm just hoping that I don't get it and Kelsey doesn't get it. This would be the third time she's gotten it, and somehow I've managed to avoid it all of these times. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
If you ended up getting it, can you still travel back home? Do they let you, or?
We're going to find out because we on the way out they didn't require a negative test. We printed one out just to be safe. Like, we got a test, it was negative, and took that. But they said if you are double vaccinated or fully vaccinated, that you don't need a negative test. I don't know if it's going to be the same going back. If we do require a negative test and one of us is positive, I guess we're just stuck here until we test negative or we forge a negative result. So, yeah, we'll see.
I mean, hey, it is Zimbabwe. I think you can get away with something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't say anything. All right. The power of suggestion. That's all that was.
I'm gonna be sitting in a courtroom somewhere, listening back to a recording of the Deprogram. Sir, is this you? No.
Oh my God. Are you, or have you ever been part of a communist organization? Yes, yes, just the COVID thing was a lie. Anything but COVID jail, please. Oh, man. No, man, I remember, when the COVID thing first started, taking off, and we had to, for the hospital, my God, you'd have to show up to stupid shit all the time with a new COVID test, right? And it was the... Because now they have there are several new ones that they use, right? But there's a few of them that are, they just kind of lightly brush the inside of your nostril, which is all right.
Yeah.
But the ones before, I don't know if you've had them, the ones where they shove all the way into your fucking, it's into the nasopharynx. It's not that deep, but it feels like they're fucking touching your brain. I did not consent to being violated to that extent. That's the only way I could put it. It's like, if anything, do the tried and true Iraqi method of... whatever documents you need to get passed, just put like a $20 bill in between the papers and just slide it to the clerk and hope for the best. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, that is very much a thing here for sure.
Yeah. See, they know what they're doing, right? I don't trust places where they don't accept bribes. The bribing is the poor man's tool, if that makes sense, right? Because in any place across the world, even the most prim and proper, we don't take bribes here. At the big political stage and whatnot, they do take bribes. They're full of shit.
Oh yeah.
So it's you know how fines are basically like legal for rich people.
Yeah.
Bribing is supposed to be something that makes your life easier, but that's it's in the quote unquote stable countries. It's only reserved for the wealthiest. I think that's bullshit. If you vote
absolutely.
for me, everybody will accept your bribe.
Everybody can bribe.
Honestly, it's like, how bad do you really want it? If you're not willing to bribe, how bad do you want it? You can wait in that line. It's fine. These are all jokes. Fucking hell.
Yeah, don't try to bribe a cop in the U.S., dear listener. It will not go well.
Is that really true? Okay, actually, no. I trust you in this, but why is that so? If I may ask, is it like a thing where they think that they're like better than that, or do they have like a lot of oversight, or what's the issue there?
I think, every time I've heard someone say that they've tried to offer a cop money or like suggest that, hey, officer, look, I just need to get where I'm going. Here's, what if I bought you, XYZ or something like that, and then you pass them a $20 bill. It just doesn't go well. And I think it's because the officer can then nail you with a bigger misdemeanor or whatever bribery is in the States, and that will look better on his record, saying, oh, look, I nailed this guy for attempting to bribe a police officer. So yeah, they're just all power tripping.
Okay, probably they also incentivize them in a way, no? If you get a payout yourself or something, or looks good on your record to have caught somebody bribing, probably.
Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah, I mean, I know they have, they deny it, but I know they have quotas. Like, there are certain times of the month where you'll see way more cops out, pulling people over than usual. And it's because they have to reach a certain number of tickets given out and things like that. So I imagine, the more stuff they can nail you with, the better it looks for them and their department.
What a pleasant institution.
Yeah. Right? Definitely accountable and fair and not predatory at all.
And hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Deprogram. Today is just JT and I, so we're gonna have ourselves a steamy little date while you opening is off. I don't know, fucking chasing leprechauns or whatever they do over there in the Balkans.
I don't think that's what it is.
It's war crimes or the other.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's okay. I get my white people confused. I'm kidding. I don't consider the Irish or the Balkan people white. But that's a conversation for another time.
Hakeem's hot take hour.
Yeah, exactly right. Today,
what about the
we thought we'd give you
Italians?
a bit of
Are the Italians white?
it depends, right? Northern Italians, maybe. But Southern Italians, if you're like from Sicily or Bari or something, no, you're one of us. You're half Arab. Practically. Oh, man. Have you ever seen a person from Sicily? Fuck off. You guys are so... Yeah, I mean, you look like... Every single one of them looks like a Kurdish cousin of mine. Every single one of them. It's... Greeks, Spaniards, it's all... You fucking...
You're all Arabs.
Right? Yeah. I think you need to go above the Pyrenees. Like, once you get to France, then you start getting a bit of it, right? And then you hit, like, I don't know, the decrepit whites. I don't know, Danish?
Decrepit whites.
I'm sorry. The ones with the thinnest fucking epidermis.
Yeah.
The ones that burn in 20 minutes. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, this is bad. I'm sorry.
Off to a good start.
Okay, I apologize sincerely for... Actually, no, I don't. Just wear sunscreen. I'm sorry to say. What the fuck? Just wear sunscreen, okay?
Yeah.
I don't care how dark or light you are. You should always wear sunscreen. Don't give me that bullshit like, oh, I have melanin, blah, blah. You could be from South Sudan. I do not care. Use sunscreen. It's not. It's even worse with people who are melanated because if you end up getting something fucked up like melanoma, it's harder to see on you. And also, by the way, there's maybe we'll make an episode about this, but there is a certain aspect of racism within the medical field where there are assumptions made about people who are black or heavily melanated, like people from South India, for example, where certain skin conditions are missed. They have weird ideas about tolerance of pain. Certain medications don't work as well on certain ethnic groups, etc., etc. So yeah, like, please take care of yourself and remember that if you're any sort of ethnic minority or if you're melanated in any way, you're going to be put at disadvantage even within the medical system, sadly. We live in a thoroughly Eurocentric world. That's hopefully and slightly changing day by day. All right, this is not the topic for today. This went way more serious.
Thank you, Dr. Hakeem.
Today, since Yugopnik isn't on board, we thought we'd give you guys a bit of a taste of what our bonus episodes are like for the Patreon supporters. Just to kind of see, so you can see a lighter side of us. Not everything has to be serious. The theme today is confusing the fuck out of me about what Americans do, because
that's my specialty.
Yes, exactly right. That's why I love GT. He confuses me with how sexy he is, as well as with his weird, like, sometimes he'll mention some shit like the fucking, what was it, the hot sauce pouch shit that you guys have down there.
Yeah, with the holster for your hot sauce. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fucking. Wait, okay, so if you want to come with do you have a holster for your gun and for the hot sauce, or is there like a 1 and 2 in 1 sort of thing? Like, buy a gun, get hot sauce free?
I wouldn't be surprised. I've never seen a combo revolver hot sauce holster. I have seen a bandolier, like, the thing you wear across your chest, that holds a bunch of hot sauces. And so that's...
Jesus Christ.
We have all sorts of options.
All right. Well, I'm glad. Look, hey, if there's one thing the United States is known for is variety, but no substance. Sorry, that's more a commentary on the political system in the U.S. But actually, from the very little exposure I've had to American hot sauces, they're not bad.
I will say we make really good hot sauces. And salsa, especially in places like Texas, we make really good salsa. Like, I can go to the grocery store and there, I don't know, probably 15 local salsas made with, all sorts of different peppers and local herbs and stuff, and they're fantastic. So yeah, I will stand our spicy things here in Texas.
Yeah, no, and I likewise. I haven't tried too much of it. I hope to one day. Who knows? Deprogram on tour. We'll go to. I don't fucking know. Yeah, the example that I always I think of for a middle of nowhere town in Texas is Keller, Texas. But I don't know, is Keller even a small town? Is it?
That's funny.
Keller, Texas.
Yeah,
But it has 47,000 people.
Yeah, it's a pretty big town. People, will navigate by Keller. Oh yeah, it's on the other side of Keller. I lived fairly near there. I went to high school in Colleyville, which is pretty close to Keller. So that's funny that you even know about it.
Yeah. As funny as it is, I happen to have known an American once that came from that part of town. That part of the U.S. And let's see, hold on. The Keller Independent School District has 39 campuses. Okay, good for it. It has. Oh, in September 2004, Verizon Communications launched a fiber optic communication network there. How nice! First in the nation. Wow.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Okay, this is actually very interesting. Keller consistently scores as a very safe city by crime rates, according to the FBI.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of any kind of like a crime or crisis or issue in Keller. Actually, it's fairly upscale. Like there are some fancy people there. Though actually, there is one town in my neck of the woods called Southlake, which is fancier than Keller, and they had like no real crime for, I don't know, a couple decades or something, and then there was like an execution outside of the town square. One drug kingpin or something got executed in broad daylight by like the white people town square. It was
but
out of nowhere.
Look, it's an event in Keller. That's an event. All right, that's something that can be on the front page of news. I was gonna say, you know, when you scroll down notable people, there's a guy named Joel Bolomboy. I was like, that's an interesting name. And it says Ukrainian-born professional basketball player for the Utah Jazz of the National Basketball Association. And then you hover over his name, and this is a. You're not expecting. He is of African origin and very African origin. The what's it called? What do you guys the weird left turn? It's like it's Ukrainian born, and he's from Keller. So I'm expecting quite a white, and the name Joel Bolomboy. I was like, okay, that sounds like a white guy.
That's a white man. Yeah, nope.
and it's a 2.1 meter tall Congolese guy. Good for him. Okay, but I was not expecting that. But yeah, also the voting district. Holy shit! What the fuck is this? Oh my god!
Welcome to the United States.
It looks. Do you know what it looks like? It looks like, you know, whenever you peel a tangerine and then you have all the weird tangerine shavings that are all different shapes. That's exactly what it looks like. Fuck me. All right. Okay. Well, good to know. Also, another thing that weirds me out about Texas, or actually most American states, is the different constituencies or different counties are like perfect squares almost.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that like a little bit fucking weird? Is there nothing organic about the formation of this in the U.S.?
Nothing whatsoever.
Okay.
It's tough actually. Where I live, we live on the intersection of no fewer than 3 different counties, and so our mail always gets lost.
Oh God! All right. No, see, that's why I'm not surprised. Whoa! Texas has 30% Spanish speakers. That's insane.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I used to be Mexico, so I'm not surprised. But
yeah.
You know, actually, this is another question. This is already off. We're not even going according to the doc and what I wrote. Now, this is just me being fascinated by the U.S. Texas has quite a large, what's it called? Access to water, seafront. Mm-hmm. What the fuck do you guys say in English? Shoreline.
Coast.
Excuse me. Yeah, coast. Yeah, exactly. But I've never heard of a major American city that's on the Texas side of the coast. I would imagine the weather there is very nice. No?
You know, I've actually never been there. There's Houston, which is, I know, very humid and very hot and gets hit by hurricanes a lot of the time. But there's one place, and I'm trying to remember. Is it South Padre Island? Is that Texas? I can't remember. There are a couple of places where, you know, the Texans will go on spring break. There are some beaches that are apparently pretty nice. But yeah, I've never actually been over there. If I'm going to go to a beach, I go to like Florida or the Carolinas or something.
You know, you're right. Yeah, there's St. Padre Island, there's Galveston, and there's Corpus Christi.
Corpus Christi. Yeah, that was the one I was forgetting.
That does not actually sound half bad. Like the coast is huge, and it's right in the, like, it's almost like Florida level. I can imagine it's being humid, but hold on, let's see what Galveston's about. Hold on. Sorry, we're gonna get back on track very soon. I'm just very interested in this. Oh, it's like a rocky sand beach. It's not this sort of, but the town is cute.
White sand. Yeah.
It's a cute town. You know, tell you what, when you go and I come to the U.S., we're gonna take a trip down to Galveston, Texas.
Boys beach trip.
I'm gonna put the red paint. I'm gonna dye my hair yellow. I'm gonna pluck out all my fucking hair so I get that fucking coronal, and then we go. We have a hot boy summer. A white boy summer. What's it called?
White boy summer. Yeah, we're gonna do a calendar shoot for you guys. We're gonna get the nice the Borat G-string bathing suits for you. Oh, it's gonna be spicy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That'll be only for the top patron tiers. All right, back on track. What I was trying. The episode originally, There's an inside joke between us three within the docs where we put the name of like just a stupid name for each episode, a preliminary. And this one I called Pepsi Man Ass Streets because I don't know if people outside, I don't know if people inside the United States realize this, but if you're unaware, there's a PlayStation 1 game called Pepsi Man. And in it, you play as like an anthropomorphic like Pepsi figure. And he basically runs around collecting Pepsi. But he runs around like American suburbs and cities and shit, right? And as a young Iraqi kid, when I would look at this, I was like, the United States can't possibly look like this. This looks like a fucking joke. Because you run by like just suburb after suburb, and then you get into areas where it's just like a highway with gas stations.
Yeah.
On the sides and like one taco place. It makes no sense. It never made sense to me. I'm like, are you meant to just drive by all this? Is there nothing to stop and do here? Do you stop for gas and then just fuck off? And I didn't realize this until I actually looked up pictures of like actual small town USA, and they all look like fucking Pepsi Man streets. JT, please explain yourself. What the fuck what is this weird highway with the gas stations? And why are there like 6 of them on both sides? Why? You need one gas station.
I have no defense. I'm looking at the Pepsi Man screenshot and cracking up because I'm like, yes, this is normal. That's what a suburb looks like. Our entire country is just sprawl. Like if you get off the interstate, it's I'm sure you've seen that meme online. It's just a picture of you've got like a Wendy's and a Shell and a McDonald's and just a bunch of electrical wires crossing the road. And that's what it is. That's every single exit off the interstate in the United States. And like no matter what state you stop in, you might have a regional fast food place that's different depending on where you stop. But you'll have like an Exxon, a Shell, a Love's if you're like on the interstate, stuff like that. And then a couple of fast food places and maybe like a Kohl's a mile off the road, which is like a clothing store. But yeah, that's what our troops are fighting for abroad. Remember what you're fighting for.
Just a picture of a fucking concrete road. Oh fuck! A rundown fucking. Do you know what I love is like the proprietary. Is that even the right word? Like it's a taco place, but it's not a chain taco place. But they're trying to look like a chain taco place. Does that make sense? Because I've seen pictures of these places.
Oh, like a hole in the wall, like attached to a gas station kind of taqueria.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they always have some like sketchy, kind of racially insensitive, like figure on the side.
Yeah, an anthropomorphized pepper. Yeah, absolutely.
Fucking. Some fucking Speedy Gonzalez shit. Yeah. It's so fucking stupid. Oh my god. Oh,
it's absolutely true though, and they have good food. You can pop into any one of those places labeled like tacos y tortas, and they are fantastic. You might get food poisoning, 1 in 10 times, but the other 9 times it is delicious.
It is good food. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, those places have the dirtier the place is for some reason it's the better. I don't know. It's like the E. coli is good seasoning. Okay. But I was gonna say, I remember I saw a place. I have a relative that went to the U.S. and he was equally fascinated by this phenomenon of the United States. And he sent me a picture, which was like at one of these gas station places, and the place was called just Taqueria or something. Yeah. And underneath it, they had like their trademark, like the big TM, and the thing was, it's Tacorific. No, they trademarked that. How does that? I don't think they. I think they just put the TM there.
I was going to say, there's no way they actually trademarked that. They just slapped the TM on it.
They just put it there to look official or some shit. But yeah, so I'm sure it was Tacorific. Yeah, that's not even a smart pun. It's just like, taco terrific. Oh. All right. Anyways. All right, I have several more questions for you, JT. At this rate, I have like 40 things in the doc. We're not going to get through all of this. Okay. When looking up, I'm going to get back to American infrastructure in a second. When looking up weird idioms, a lot of them I was familiar with, right? There are a couple of weird ones like break a leg or something, which for the longest time I had no idea what it meant, but it meant do well. I don't know where the connection is really. But I saw one, and I've never heard it in my life. It's cut the mustard. What the fuck does cut the mustard mean? Yeah. Is this a thing?
It's a thing, yeah. It's kind of fallen out of use. Okay. But it's definitely one most Americans... It's one most Americans are familiar with. And honestly, like we all inherently know what it means, like, to rise to the correct standard, to the, that sort of thing, to be acceptable. And I actually didn't know where it came from, and I saw this in the doc. I was like, oh man, I got to look this one up. I have to know. And so I did some digging, and there's a bit of people aren't really sure exactly where it comes from. So it could come from like a
real mystery on our hands.
It could come from to pass muster, which means basically the same thing, to rise to a certain standard, to be above par, which is another weird expression because you want to be below par, because golf you're supposed to have whatever, low score, whatever. Anyway, but the other explanation people have is that mustard is spicy, and cutting the mustard, cut used to mean like surpass, so you're spicier than mustard, which was a good thing apparently. So I don't know. To me, the pass muster thing seems fairly likely, but I don't know, because it means essentially the same thing.
You have likewise enlightened me, but I feel like I haven't learned anything. Does that make sense?
That's the American idiom for you. We have no idea why we say them, but we'll keep doing it.
Yeah, but no, hey, it's what makes you guys a civilization to be reckoned with, I guess. I'm trying to be nice. I'm sorry. Hey, there's so many good ones, man. Hold on, actually, I'll open up the doc, because there are ones that I wish we have a lot of really good idioms in Arabic, but they're usually convoluted and I don't want to call it Oriental wisdom, but you know what I mean, right? It's but there's some things like better late than never.
Yeah,
that's a great one. Better late than never is a great one, but it's not like, how the fuck in Arabic do we have anything like that? We just like, don't be late, you cunt. That's what we say, like the equivalent. Okay. There's a few stupid ones. Bite the bullet, like you just to get, like I've never understood the thing.
That one,
okay.
I think I can explain that one.
Please do.
I believe in war times, like if you were going to cauterize a wound or something, you gave the soldier something to bite, and so a bullet was a hard thing that they couldn't like bite through. I think that was what that one's for.
That's actually not a bad deduction. Get your act together. That's a decent one. Give someone the benefit of the doubt. That's another good one. Hold on, there's one I saw that I really like.
Side note for benefit of the doubt, one of my proudest moments was I revel in stupid jokes, and so we were talking. Some friends and I were talking about fishing, and some guy had told a tall tale or something, and I was like, I'll give him the benefit of the trout, and then that was one of my finest moments.
I love it. But yeah, honestly, that's actually a good one. Give someone benefit of the doubt. But then you have some fucking stupid shit where, I just saw it right now. Hold on. Oh, yeah, that's two things. Number one, being under the weather is just, it just sounds a bit off, but that's not a big deal. Something I don't understand, because I once had an American say this shit to me, and I was like, what the fuck does it mean? He's like, I'll take a rain check. What? It's not raining.
So a rain check is when what that phrase is meant to mean is like, I'll do it later. It's not convenient at this time. And the origin of that is it's raining. Let's do it at a different time. But now people use it when it's not raining.
Okay, well that's still stupid, but all right, fine. I'll take the explanation. All right, moving away from idioms, because we can talk about it for a long time, but it gets kind of boring. There's another thing that, again, I didn't understand until you get exposure to this sort of stuff from American media, right? And Americans don't see this because Americans don't usually see the other side, right? How the rest of the world lives, really. But I had a question for you, JT. Okay, because most Americans probably live in suburbs, right? Is that like an accurate thing to say? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
If you live in a suburb, it's just homes. There's no businesses around, right?
Mm-hmm. For the most part, yeah.
So if you want to go anywhere, you have to get in your car and then drive to like a Walmart or something. Like is there in what is there in the suburbs that you can drive to, like something decently close that will have, or is it literally just like a Walmart that's next to you?
Yeah, so typically in the suburbs you'll have communities, like you'll have a neighborhood, and you may have I don't know 100 homes, something like that, in a neighborhood, and they're fairly self-contained. Some of them have gates if they're fancy. Most of them, just are off of a main road or a fairly main road. And so if you're going to go do something or get something, you leave your neighborhood in your car, because you're not going to walk there, and you drive 5-10 minutes, and then you'll start to see like a McDonald's, a Kohl's, a PetSmart, maybe a half price books, Lowe's or a Home Depot, things like that. It's usually like kind of copy pasted where you have the housing part of the suburbs. You drive 10 minutes or so, you have like a main shopping drag, like you'll have a main street and then off of that street for, I don't know, 5-10 miles, you've got all these different places of business, restaurants, things like that. And that's pretty much it. If you branch off of those roads, then you have more housing developments, like lots of other neighborhoods. So yeah, you've got little pockets of suburbs, and then you've got your one main shopping drag, and then you have highway connecting these individual islands of consumption and living space.
Okay, and if I can piggyback off that, what the fuck is a Costco? You hear about the infamous Costco card. What is this?
Okay, so Costco, it's like Walmart if Walmart had like a VIP back room. So it's basically you go in and you have to show a card. You have to have your membership card. And then you get access to like pallets worth of food and toilet paper and things like that. And apparently the seafood is very good, and like you can get good deals on steak, and you can buy stuff in bulk. So if you have a big family, it's useful for that. But the best thing about Costco is that they haven't changed the price of their hot dog in like 15 years. You can get a big, like a giant hot dog for $1.50. And the reason that's the thing, they tried to change the price several times over the years, and the CEO said this is the only good CEO.
But the American working class rejected.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Nope, not even close. The CEO, the only good CEO on earth, said, "If you raise the price of my hot dog, I will fucking kill you."
He said that.
Yeah, and that's
Okay, well.
that's the legend of the Costco hot dog. So I don't even eat hot dogs, but I respect the Costco hot dog for that. But basically,
All right,
it's a Walmart where you buy in bulk, and it keeps the filthy commoners out because you have to have a membership card.
Okay, all right. That's a strangely, confused. It's like you have the people's hot dog, but also at the same time you need the badge. You need to be a pure Aryan stock to enter. All right, interesting. All right, again, piggybacking off of this point, Walmart is. I understand it's like a big grocery store, basically.
Yeah.
What the fuck is Target then? Is it the same as Walmart? Are they the same thing? Is it a competitor? Like.
All right, so they used to be closer to the same thing, I would say. Target has since successfully rebranded as a more upscale shopping experience. You go to Walmart, the place is filthy, the employees hate themselves and you. Everything is like falling off the shelves. You see some of the strangest people you'll ever see, like half-dressed people, people who look like they came out of a swamp or something.
I've heard the meme, the 3 a.m. Walmart experience. I actually want to, again, if I do come to the US, we're going to go at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
I'll take you to a Walmart. Absolutely.
I just want to see.
Fun side note about Walmart, after Kelsey and I got married, I managed to remember my 3DS when we left for the honeymoon, but I forgot like my contacts and glasses and toothpaste and stuff. So we had to go by Walmart like as we were leaving the wedding venue. So we drove for, I don't know, 20 minutes to the nearest Walmart, and we got out and like walked around in my like nice jacket and wedding attire, and Kelsey's in her wedding dress, and we're just walking around Walmart collecting things, and we weren't even the weirdest looking people there. So yeah, Walmart is an adventure. But Target, so you go into Target and it's cleaner. They've got indie music playing, not like super indie, but indie as of like, I don't know, 15 years ago, something like that, poppy stuff. And they've got like interior decorating by Chip and Joanna Gaines, who are the fixer-upper people. I don't know if you've seen that show.
So I have not, but go on.
Yeah, it's people who buy houses and fix them up and sell them to people. And they have a whole like empire now of interior design and things like that. So that's pretty much Target in a nutshell. I mean, it's a shopping place like Walmart, but it has a little bit higher quality stuff, and the clientele is less likely to like bite you as you pass them.
Okay, that's interesting. I'll remember to get my hepatitis B booster before if I ever do show up. Okay, could we just cycle back to the hot dog thing a bit before?
Absolutely.
2 questions. Number 1, I've heard this term before, and feel free to beep it out if it means something else. But what the fuck is a glizzy? Is that a hot dog?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's a hot dog.
Why is it called a glizzy?
I have no idea where it came from, but one of my favorite pictures online is we have a place called oh gosh, is it Dairy Queen that does the Blizzard? I think it's Dairy Queen that does the Blizzard, and you know it's an ice cream treat in a cup, and the whole thing is they put the ice cream in it, and you go through the drive-through, and they like turn it upside down to show that the ice cream's not going to fall out of the cup because it's super thick or something. And so someone got one of those, and they took a hot dog, and they stuck it in the Blizzard, and they call it a Glizzard. So that's the finest American cuisine we have to offer.
You have to deep fry it first, I'm sure. But all right, and that's number one. And number two, I've heard of something that, again, this is all like hearsay from Americans that somehow has found its way to me. There is supposedly like hot dogs that are in gas stations that are sitting on a roller that have been there for like 15 years. Yes. Is this actually true? Is this like exaggeration? Because with Americans, I generally do not. It could very likely be that it has been there for like 10 years. I wouldn't know better.
Yeah, we have. They're like little rotisserie roller things. You go into any fairly decent gas station. It's funny because they're in the nicer gas stations like QT. You go in and you're going and getting whatever you need, and then you walk past these rollers, and there's this enticing smell wafting off of these rotating glizzies, and you're like, "Damn, you're looking good, tube steak." And so you have to snag one of those. But better than the hot dogs, because I don't like hot dogs. They have taquitos most of the time, and taquitos are like a fried, rolled up. I guess it's some kind of tortilla, and they usually fill it with like chicken and cheese or something like that. And man, when I was younger, back in the days of my youth, I would snag like 3 of those and like a 60-ounce Dr. Pepper on the way home from whatever I was doing. And man, you may not like it, but that is peak male performance.
You know, I actually I can sympathize. You know what I'm trying to say.
Empathize. Yeah.
I used to, when I was in uni, there was this place right by the hospital, and it was the fucking dirtiest place you could ever imagine. They would make, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, you could not call this pizza. This would be a war crime to call it pizza. What it was is like the whitest fucking bread you could imagine that they somehow flattened out. Oh, God. And they would put like... it wasn't tomato paste. I think it was cut with ketchup. I think.
Oh, Jesus.
Right? It was never. It was horrible. And they would have this artificial fucking cheese that they would. I don't know if it would. Okay, I think it was machine shredded. But the chunks were so like non-concordant with each other. There's so much inconsistency. It looked like somebody hacked them, but they came in sealed bags. I would see them dump it from sealed bags. And basically, it's like a plate size, right? With this weird like half ketchup, half like marinara sauce, basically, and this artificial fucking cheese. And you'd put it in this like small oven with like 1 light bulb, and you just wait like 2 minutes, and it comes out, and it's like lightly toasted. And sometimes like the bit that the cheese that was close to the light bulb was actually nice and melted, but the bits that were far away from it were still kind of like hard,
cold. Oh God.
This shit, if you're, how expensive is this? Like to convert to, this was like maybe $50, like the equivalent. This was like beyond dirt cheap. this
Amazing.
Shit. And do you know they had like, they would, if you would come at a certain hour, people are gonna judge the shit out of me, dude. I'm a broke student. I couldn't fucking right. I'm arguably still. But yeah, if you came at a certain hour, you can get this, and then you can get a side of like fries. But it was like, I don't know where the fuck he got these fries from. They were fine, right? But they were not the best spuds. Let's just say that much. Yeah. Okay, this wasn't choice potato, right? It was all right though. It was definitely better than the other thing. But hey, it was filling and it was dirt cheap, so I'd go with it. And I remember this place. After like 2 years maybe into med school, this place closed down. Forcibly was closed down because it gave like it put like 80 people in the hospital.
Oh my God!
Because of like, I've never once gotten sick from it, so I don't know what to talk. But yeah, basically that's what ended up happening. And then it disappeared, and then yeah, exactly right. But
man. That's like losing the Library of Alexandria. That is a loss.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that is My God, the Mongols couldn't have done worse. Anyways, I'm sure anybody you come across who's been like in university, especially when it's like a long education, will definitely have some story like this. I think that's one thing that connects humanity, at least when we're young, is how much shit, how much shit we managed to eat, and somehow, first of all, we had an appetite for it, and somehow also we kept it down. Oh man, you know what makes it even weirder is like I don't drink, right? But Americans, for example, you guys will eat shit like this, and then you'll go and fucking drink.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I don't know which ones maybe they cancel each other out. Maybe the alcohol sanitizes.
That must be it.
Anyways, okay. I have several more questions for you, JT.
Please.
Okay. Why are American breakfasts not breakfast? Why is it like funky colored like bits of sugar with what? Can you please explain this to me?
Yeah. So the typical American breakfast, depending on like what class you're in, is slightly different. Like, you know, middle class people growing up, the kids will eat like cereal. Like my favorite growing up that I was never allowed to have, but my grandparents would give me when we visited them, was Cookie Crisp. And it's like, you know, these little dried husks that are made to resemble chocolate chip cookies, and it's really bad, but it was delicious as a kid. And then you've got stuff like Reese's Puffs, Frosted Flakes, Lucky Charms was super popular. But yeah, the American breakfast in general is very sweet. Like we might have pancakes with syrup, and I'm sure for you, just the pancake itself would be sweet enough, but we drench it in syrup. Or we'll have like a couple slices of cinnamon toast, or we'll have a cinnamon roll. Some people will have like yogurt with breakfast, which is nice and healthy. But like if you go to a fancy hotel or something, they'll have what I think most people would consider like an ideal American breakfast, which is like some fruit, a yogurt, a couple slices of toast, maybe some pieces of sausage, some bacon, and like maybe oatmeal or something. That would be like the best American breakfast you're likely going to get, unless you go to one of the trendy brunch places.
Are Americans an egg eating population? Is that a...
Oh, right. Yeah, I always forget about eggs because I hate eggs. I can't do it. Like I'm fairly picky, but I can be around people eating just about any food except eggs. I will physically distance myself from any form of egg because I think they're vile. I don't know why, and it's a shame because they're very healthy.
Hey, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with having a child's palate. It's completely fine. I'm teasing. Hey, I joke, but there's some stuff that I can't absolutely stand. For example, like onion. I don't mind onion when it's fresh, and I don't mind onion when it's fully cooked down. But whenever it's like in between, like sometimes like it's just kind of I can't fucking do that. It tastes like shit to me.
I can see that. Yeah.
No, I can't. I can't say that. Like, it's just the texture. The texture is off. That's why.
Yeah, I'm a texture person too. Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say something else. Also about the breakfasts. Oh yeah, there's something I've heard that I still don't know what is grits.
Grits. Okay. Grits is like kind of like porridge. You know what porridge is?
Yeah.
Yeah, or like if you're in Africa, maybe you'd call it sudza. It's like I don't eat it, so I don't really know. It's like a grain or a wheat. Someone's going to enlighten me. It's like a grain or a wheat or something that's basically pounded into a paste with water. And some people add like sugar and cinnamon. Some people add cheese or things like that. But to me, it's like slop. It's a gray slime, and it is not appealing at all. But that is what grits is. It's like a thick oatmeal.
Good to know. All right, now I've been informed. I've been enlightened. Likewise, I've heard this. I don't know if it's true. It probably is, but American bread, I've heard, is sweet. Is that true?
An American typically probably wouldn't say so. But that being said, I remember reading something a couple years back how Subway bread cannot legally be classified as bread. It's classified as a pastry because of how much sugar they put in the bread itself. So yeah, I am aware that there is sugar content in most of the bread on American supermarket shelves.
Yeah, exactly, because that's what confused me. Like, what if you're adding sugar to bread? Then exactly as you said, it is a pastry. It's not bread.
Yeah,
you want sliced bread. Why? Okay. I've never had sweet bread, so I don't even know. And you'd put like Actually, how about this? This is something that like Iraqis like, for example, depending on but for example, you'd have like regular bread that's not sweet at all, and you put like cheese on it, and then you could put like honey, for example, on top of that. Like that's something that in some parts of Iraq, that's my favorite breakfast meal, by the way. Would that work with American bread? I'm assuming not. I'm assuming it'd be too sweet. If you're gonna have the honey on top as well.
Like if you go get a loaf of like Wonder Bread or something, like the typical American white bread that you think of, you get that off of a shelf and try to do that, it would just become a soggy mess, and that would be gross. But I mean, you can get like decent crusty rolls at like a bakery within like a Target or something, or Market Street, Tom Thumb, whatever local grocery store you have. So you can actually
get. Yeah. You can get like a decent loaf that's, quote unquote, artisanal, but you know what I mean, like actual bread.
Yeah, actual bread. It's not like, sliced white bread that's half sugar. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Okay, that's not so bad. I was under the impression that all bread, regardless, was just...
No, like not all
you
bread.
create... You have the mix and it's like, okay, let's add half a cup of sugar. It's like the two shots of vodka, lady. But
yeah.
All right, okay, good to know. This is another thing. Most of the world doesn't have a tipping culture. Like when you go to a restaurant or whatever. In the US is pretty much like they make the customer basically pay the wage of the worker. In this case, because I've heard there's a percentage. I don't know, was it 20%, 15%? Fucking
yeah. So typically, what you'll hear the range to be is 15 to 20%. A lot of Americans will tip less than that. They might do 10%, and there are some people who say, "Oh, I don't believe in tipping," and they don't tip at all. Which is, I get it. It's not, you don't want to have to pay an additional cost on top of the meal you just paid for. But if you don't tip, that worker is making like $2.50 an hour because it's legal to pay them less than the minimum wage if it's assumed that the rest of it will be made up of tips. So yeah, the people who don't tip are absolutely hated by restaurant staff. My thing is, like, if I'm gonna go out to eat, I tip 20% minimum. Like if the service is better than that, then I'll tip more. But like if I can't tip 20%, I'm not gonna go out to eat.
That's very interesting. Okay, and this is another thing that's a bit, because I've heard. I can't even get this out. I've seen in American like TV shows and stuff like that, they joke about the percentage and how specific it is, and how like, you think about the bill and they actually do the math in their head. Is this a thing? Like if you get like $127 bill, for example, do you actually have to sit there and be like, actually the appropriate amount, or can you just like?
I mean, some people get really weird about it. Like I have a friend who, he's had it in his wallet probably for 15 years since his parents gave it to him or something. And it's like a little tip calculator laminated card. And like, just use your phone if you want to do that. Don't like work out the math on a napkin. It's really weird. But to me, I'll like, I'll do 20% and then I'll just round up to the nearest dollar to make it look nice. But yeah, typically people are very precise with it. I don't know why, but I always like to round up.
All right, nice. All right. Another thing I've heard, the American server voice. What is the American server voice?
Yeah, a lot of people like how I will put on a narrator voice when I'm not, just speaking casually like this. A lot of people will do this like phony, super friendly, chummy voice to customers. Like imagine in SpongeBob normal or SpongeBob Round Pants. He's like, "Hi, how are ya? Lovely weather we're having." It's like that. That's like the server voice. It's like the most generic white voice you can imagine. That is what people try to do because they want to not set off the clientele in any way. They want to be as neutral a human being as possible.
I really feel for American service staff.
Oh my god!
Because all this shit sounds horrific. I'm sorry I cannot imagine what it's like being a guy in Walmart or like a waitress or waiter or something. That is
Yeah, it's one of the most like hated jobs in the States.
Retail, right? Yeah, that's the word in English. Okay, yeah. Yeah, because I can't. It's not only like you have to get the job done. You're also you're paid shit, and you have to like always try to please customers, or like any the weird ideas like, oh, the customer's always right, that kind of nonsense.
Yeah. Okay, you're at their mercy, entirely at their mercy.
Well, I feel for you. If anybody listening is in the service industry, I feel for you. And please try to get out if you have any opportunity. That can't be good for your mental health. At the end of the day, it's not to draw a false like equivalence, but sometimes when you're in the medical field, you also kind of feel that way, where you somebody comes in and you want to do something for them, right? So there's a service aspect there. But you also have the quote unquote like the scientific authority. So if you were to tell them like, no, fuck off, you're not going to get anything from me. They just kind of have to shut up and take it. Unless you work private or something, then it's a different discussion. But that's the closest parallel I can draw to my personal life. And yeah, I don't enjoy those moments either. So I can only imagine how difficult it is for you guys. Stay strong, stay strong, and unionize if you can. That's all. That's the recommendation I have. Another thing that also seems to confuse me, but I don't know if it's real or not. I've heard from people that I know that visited the U.S. that Americans will randomly make small talk with strangers, like just random people on a bus stop or some shit. Is this also true?
Yeah, kind of to an extent. It's weird. It's either that way, like people like I'm trying to think of like a generic example. The weather is a really common one. Like, oh yeah, we've been having beautiful weather these days, huh? Or like you're staying cool. It's just generic stuff like that to acknowledge another person's existence. And then you have people that will just like wall you out and completely like not look at you and stuff like that. So it's one or the other. And I don't know which I dislike more. I think, people making an effort to say something friendly is nice. But yeah, it can be a little weird. Like some people will just strike up a conversation about pointless stuff like the weather or a person that they saw walking by. That's the most common thing if you're dealing with like a boomer. Like someone walks by and they have like a fairly normal haircut for a young person. Like maybe it's shaved on the sides or something. The boomer will like look at you with a big exaggerated face and say like, "Get a load of that guy, huh?" And he expects you to like chuckle politely and nod and agree with him. But it's weird. That's the type of thing that you'll deal with American small talk.
All right. With that cleared up at least somewhat. All right. What is with the shoes inside the house? That's another thing. That like all of Asia is staring in contempt, including Arabs. We never wear shoes inside the house. Do you put on your shoes just as you wake up? Then, like, what is the etiquette? Because you're walking around inside your home with shoes on. So, do you go to bed with shoes?
Not typically. It depends. Like when I was growing up, we were told to take our shoes off when we entered the house, and that's just what we did. But I did have some friends where we'd go over to their house and like we'd take our shoes off when we went inside, and the kids would like look at us like we're crazy. Like, you don't have to take your shoes off. Like, what if we go outside? And I was like, oh, okay. So I think it's a toss up. Like again, I think it might be like a class thing, because growing up, my family was fairly like upper middle class, and so they thought it was just more polite to take your shoes off and keep the floors clean and stuff like that. But yeah, when I went over to friends who were less well off, they didn't care. And these days it seems to be like the younger people are caring less and less, whether you wear your shoes inside or not. But for me, yeah, I'll take my shoes off typically, and if I take the dogs outside and I come back in and I don't feel like taking my shoes off, I won't necessarily, like, I'm not compelled to, but I typically, I do like to. It's just, it keeps the floors cleaner.
And in the US, our home, because this is weird things, I've seen, what makes sense to me is if you wore your shoes inside, then you wouldn't have carpeted floors. But I've seen lots of images of American houses where there's like carpeting, like, like wall to wall. You see, like it's attached to the ground.
Yeah.
Can
some
you make
houses,
it make sense, please?
In some houses, there is carpet in the bathroom, like around the toilet. Like you step out of the shower onto carpet, and you get this awful mildewy carpet. Oh God! Yeah, it's horrific. Why? I don't know. I have no idea. It's terrible. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, like for whatever reason, carpet is just super, super popular in the United States, and there are some exceptions. Like I think in the Northeast, funnily enough, where you would benefit from like a warmer floor, they have like wood floors or tile floors and stuff like that. When I lived in Connecticut, we had all wood floors. But here in Texas, yeah, we've got carpet upstairs, wood floors downstairs. And I don't know what the reasoning is. And the stairs are most often carpeted too.
That would make me uncomfortable visiting an American house, I'm not gonna lie. So like, okay, so do you always vacuum the carpet, or do you have to? Can you take up the carpet, clean it, and then put it back down, or?
Okay, so there we do have rugs. Like if it's on a wood floor or a tile floor or something, we'll put a rug down. Then you can take and shake out and stuff if you need to. But typically, people will just have like a vacuum cleaner, and they'll just vacuum the carpets every once in a while, and that keeps it fairly clean. Depending on how decent your vacuum is and how thick the carpets are. Some places have like proper shag carpets, which are just nightmares.
Those are the ones that I'm talking about. Those are the ones I've seen pictures of.
Yeah, not many places have the real shag carpets anymore, because they are just such filthy traps for dirt and all sorts of awful stuff. Usually it's like a shorter, like a rug texture almost, like a little bit longer than a rug.
Okay, all right, interesting. Okay, something else I've heard. This I haven't seen, but apparently pharmacies sell food. Is that a thing?
Yeah, so if you go to like a CVS or something, which is a pharmacy, it's one of the bigger pharmacy brands in the States, you can go in and get like your prescription filled and stuff, and you can get your flu shot and see a nurse and stuff like that, typically things like that. But yeah, then you've got like a little, like almost like a gas station shopping area as well, like bigger than a gas station, but not as big as like the food section of a Target or something like that. So you can go in, you can get, you can find bags of chips and drinks and water and some smaller snacks and things like that. Maybe like nuts. And then you've got other assorted household things like toilet paper, toothpaste, things like that. It's like a convenience store basically where you can pick up your medicine. And I don't know why that we have it like that. May come from like the old general store type of thing that we used to have in the States. That would be my guess. So you guys don't have like pharmacies where you can get food and toothpaste and stuff. It's just a pharmacist.
Yeah, it's usually just medicines. Sometimes you can get like creams and stuff like that, maybe like toothpaste or mouthwash, but otherwise, yeah, you're not. There's no food in a pharmacy usually.
Huh.
That's why I'm weirded out. That's because every time I would see pictures of you mentioned a CVS, when I would see pictures of it, I would be like, that's a huge fucking pharmacy. What are you keeping in there? And I realized, oh, okay, they stock stuff that you probably can buy a gun at a pharmacy in the US at this point.
I wouldn't be surprised in some states. But yeah, like a lot of times if you're on a road trip or something, you can stop at a CVS and you know that you'll be guaranteed to be able to find a bathroom and some snacks. If you don't need gas, you can just swing into one of those.
All right, I have a few more things, and then we can like call it a wrap for today. Okay, one thing that I've never understood, because you see in every American like television show and media, you see the thermostat meme. Like somebody's fucking with a thermostat. First of all, explain to me what the fuck is a thermostat, and why are some people so pedantic? Not pedantic. What's the word? Like why are they so anal? Yeah, why are they so uptight about it being a specific degree? And why does just explain this world to me? This is
oh man, my sweet summer child. Thermostats in the United States are like the most important thing, because everybody has their preference as to what temperature they like the inside to be. And it's not always the same temperature. Like it can vary by time of year and also time of day. Like for me, if the thermostat is not on 68 degrees Fahrenheit for bedtime, I will not be able to fall asleep because it is not perfectly set to the way I like it.
For those listening, 68 degrees in freedom units is 20 degrees Celsius. So in something that we actually understand, that's a pleasant. Yeah, okay, go on.
Yeah,
excuse me.
That's basically it. So the thermostat is just the little brain in your house that you press buttons on, and it controls the temperature. For those who don't know, and like right now, I'm in Zimbabwe, and there is no air conditioning here, and I'm just so thankful that we're coming into winter, and so it's very, very mild here. The weather is super pleasant. So you don't really need AC or a thermostat. But in Texas, oh boy, like starting fairly early in the year, you need to be able to cool down the inside of your house, or you're going to have a heat stroke. But then again, I mean, you guys live over in them there sand dunes and shit, and y'all don't have AC, so I don't know.
Oh, no. There's for sure AC is the most important thing. But yeah, I was gonna tell you, do you know in the summers it gets to as high as in human units 58 degrees Celsius. But in Fahrenheit 136 Fahrenheit, apparently.
Good God.
Yeah,
wow.
It's can get that hot. Yeah.
That's insane. I mean, the hottest I've seen in Texas is 120, and that was exceptional.
I mean, you can go for a short walk just from somewhere air conditioned to somewhere else air conditioned.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we don't have humidity, right? So it's just dry heat, which is okay. Because if it was humid heat, you'd die. But it's dry heat, so you just you just chill. You have some nice flowy clothes. Every once in a while, you just get like a wet towel and you put on your face or something. You're good.
Yeah, you see all the like Northerners and stuff, they make fun of Texans for saying it's a dry heat and it's different from like a humid heat, but it's absolutely different.
Yeah. I know. I know some people who down closer to the coast, especially like the eastern coast of the Arabian Peninsula, so around Basra in Iraq or in the Emirates, for example, like in the eastern parts, you get this really, really bad humid heat, excuse me. So basically it's like you and your clothes become one unit, right? You're just like, everything's sticky and disgusting. Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah. So you need to be somewhere air conditioned, but also you get this inverse issue, which is like boomers control the like temperature. I think it's probably the same in the US. Boomers control the temperature settings, right?
Yep.
So it's always way too fucking cold. Inversely, it's like 14 degrees. Why is it so? You don't need to set it so high. Yeah, it's so low. But for OG Iraqis, I don't know if you remember. There was a car we used to call Brasili. Which means like the Brazilian. That's what it means. And it was a bunch of, I think, some Volkswagen, some old like 1980s Volkswagens that for whatever reason the military junta in Brazil bought too many of them and the Brazilians didn't buy them. So the Brazilian government decided to sell them to us, to Iraq. And for some reason they flew off the shelves in Iraq. Everybody had one, including us. I remember what's it called? The AC didn't work. I mean, AC, I don't think the car even had AC, but it had like a fan in it, right? But for whatever reason, the fan was like absolutely it could draw fucking dust from the other side of the universe somehow and collect it right on the basin of the fan. So whenever you turn it on, you just get like this sawdust basically that shoots on your face. So that's a summer memory.
That's amazing.
But yeah, there's so many people who are attached to that fucking piece of shit. There are people still driving it to this day.
Wow.
Oh boy, it's a vintage. But yeah. Okay, that makes sense about the thermostat thing. Now finally, could you please explain to me two things, one of which is very American, one of which is I don't think any American cares about, but people outside the United States really do, about the US. First one is, what the fuck is deep fried butter?
Okay, so it's not like
please explain.
It's not like a dietary staple or anything. It's like if you go to
I'm
like
sure,
state,
buddy.
Our secret is out.
Sorry, go on, yeah.
If you go to a state fair or something, they'll have like stands that do their whole shtick is deep fried stuff. So you can get a deep fried Oreo, you can get a funnel cake, which is like fried dough with powdered sugar. You can get deep fried ice cream is a thing now. I don't know how that works.
Which somehow,
and one of them is deep fried butter. And man, if you eat that, God help your soul, because you are on a one-way trip to diabetes land there. That is just horrific. I don't know why we started that trend.
Wait, so okay, explain something to me about deep fried ice cream. Is it cold or is it warm?
I don't know. I've never had it, and I have no intention of trying it. I assume it's cold and it's like flash fried, so just the outside is hot and crisp.
Yeah, because I'm looking at pictures of it right now, and it looks like breadcrumbs or something.
Yeah, they probably bread the outside so it crisps.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. 6. Look. These ice cream bombs are worth the wait. Delicious vanilla ice cream is wrapped inside can, blah, blah, blah. Ingredients. Yeah, 1 part vanilla ice cream, cool. 6 unbaked canned biscuits. All right, sure, whatever that is. All-purpose flour. All right, fine. 6 cups canola oil for frying. Jesus Christ. She has like 8 of them on the plate. What the fuck do you need 6 cups for? Do you reuse like canola? What the fuck is this?
Some people do reuse their oil, and that is gross.
I can't, like, there's an argument that goes for some certain kinds of oils can be reused for cooking because it enhances flame. Bullshit, yeah. But, I'm actually dumbfounded. I'm looking at other recipes, they're not any better, man. They genuinely are not any but 1 quart. What the fuck?
What's a quart?
What the fuck is a quart? A quart to metric. Let's see. What the fuck is this? It is 1 quart is roughly 1 liter. Roughly. Okay, so why not just say a liter then? I'm confused. But a U.S. liquid quart is 0.0009 cubic meter. Oh, 946 milliliters. Okay, it's roughly a liter. Okay. Still, that is a ridiculous amount of fucking oil. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, man. I don't think the McDonald's fucking deep fryers have a quart. That is the quart discourse over now. This is, yeah. I feel for the arteries of your people, Habibi. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I have one more question. And this is actually less for Americans now and for people outside the U.S. There's this fascination, especially with like motorcycle people. I don't. Maybe I'm getting that wrong, but people who just like to go on long drives, I guess they like the freedom of the road. Something called Route 66. Can you please, like, I'll tell. If you go to a burger place, I think pretty much anywhere in the world, and it's like quote unquote an artisanal place, they're gonna have a plaque that says Route 66, most likely. What the fuck is it? It's just an empty road. I don't understand the appeal. Could you please?
Yeah. So
inform the public.
Yes. So Route 66 is like probably the most famous road in the United States. It was established in like 1920 something, maybe 1926. And it goes all the way across the country, basically, from Illinois down to somewhere in California. So it's like a big curved road across basically the middle of the U.S. and it cuts through like the panhandle of Texas and stuff like that. And yeah, that's like one of the most historic roads in the States. There are a bunch of cool, like kitschy little stops along the way. But yeah, I have an uncle who's super into motorcycling, and he'll take his Harley Davidson on all these super long road trips. I'm sure he's done Route 66 at some point. And I've never driven it myself. It looks like a really, really long drive. It's like almost 2,500 miles, or
Jesus Christ,
like almost 4,000 kilometers. So it's a trek. It's like the U.S. road trip if you wanted to do a U.S. road trip. But yeah, I don't know that it's like that big of a thing here. Like I know it's like I've been outside the state somewhere and I was like, oh, that place is called Route 66. That's weird. But yeah, it's like people know what it is here. And like if you're into driving, especially motorcycles, then yeah, people will be all about it for sure.
Okay, very very interesting to know. Thank you for sharing with the class.
That helped.
But no, the reason I've always been kind of like interested by this is because, again, like people from like third world countries would know about this road and like, oh yeah, like it would be so neat. Like, have you seen the state of this road? There are bombed out parts of Mosul that have better roads than this.
Yeah,
that's why I'm just kind of a bit weirded out by why you and most of it's like desert, isn't it? Don't you drive through Mosul like? Or just bad climate, right?
You go through like part of the, I don't know, maybe half of it is pretty deserty just because of the states you go through. But people love it because you can just go so fast. Like you can just floor it and go, 110, 120 if you want to.
And no cop will stop you for speeding?
Yeah, they will, but like when you're in the middle of nowhere, then you're not going to get caught, generally speaking. And if you do, that's just bad luck. You pay the ticket, you move on. Yeah, typically in the middle of nowhere, like as long as you're not like passing through a speed trap town or something, like if you're just in a long stretch of straight desert, you'll be able to see the cops for miles. So yeah, it's fairly safe to just go flat out.
I wouldn't do it personally. But like I would sooner, like there's some empty roads in like Central Asia or something that you could go for a really, like Kazakhstan, you could probably go for a really long drive, but then you're going to experience different climates and, are there even like businesses on the road? On this route? I would assume so. They would have to be.
Yeah. I mean, it's a highway, so you typically would have to exit and go through one of those, gas station mecca places where you've got your gas station and Kohl's and all that stuff. But yeah. It's just a long straight road, basically.
Okay, I'm not gonna say I don't understand why people want to do the thing. I just personally would choose not to partake. But okay, fair enough. Maybe a short stretch of it, just to get a taste of it. Maybe like a 40-minute segment. Maybe that's comfortable. Then afterward, because God help you if your car breaks down.
Oh yeah, rip.
Yeah, it probably is rip, right? Like, can you even get a signal out there?
Most places, yeah, I'd say you can get a signal. There are some spots, like depending on your carrier, where you might not have service, and you just gotta wait until some kind soul comes along and hope they can help fix your car.
Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. All right. Well, I think that does it for today. There's a lot more on this list that we could go through. I'm still, I think I'm more confused now than when I started. If I'm being fully honest. But
cultural hegemony, baby.
Yeah. Like there's the portion size shit, and like you guys have like two prices on everything.
Oh, yeah.
At least from what I've seen, there's always two prices. Like one of them is the sales tax.
Member price, yeah.
Is it a member price? I thought, what the fuck? Why are there two prices?
Oh gosh. Okay. So yeah, there's the normal price, typically like the sticker price, and then on that, like on the same ticket or the same tag, they'll say member price. Members save $2.99 or something like that. So if you basically give the cashier your phone number, an email address, they'll sign you up for their member rewards program, and you can save a couple bucks on canned chili or whatever, and that's how that works.
All right, yeah, and then they get access to all your purchasing habits.
Exactly. Yep.
Exactly. Beautiful. I love it. All right, well then, thank you for being the resident American, for educating me, a poor Iraqi boy, learning the ways of, I don't know, fucking Richard Nixon.
We'll enlighten your people yet.
Exactly right. Yes, this was part of the white man burden. Tell me about fucking deep fried butter. Oh, Jesus Christ. Do you know, the thing that makes me laugh the most about this stuff is, or the thing that I just find so silly, is that there are American fascists out there, like far-right people, who are trying to protect some form of American tradition. I don't know why. And this shit always boils down to like fucking, I don't know, like smashed Oreos in like burgers, or God knows what the fuck you guys do. And like strip malls and shit like this. Fracking. Oh man. Oh, Jesus Christ. And with all that said, this has been a small taste of the absolute mess that is our bonus episodes. This one was actually a lot less structured than our usual bonus episodes. So you're getting a especially shit episode.
This is chaos.
Sincere apologies. But if you enjoy this format for whatever reason, I don't know why you possibly would, then please consider supporting us on Patreon, because this is where you can get access to these beautiful, I don't know a train wreck is that the, my God. These episodes are as messed up as a aging American man's arteries, all right? Oh, sorry. Yes, with all that said, we miss you, Gopnik. He'll be back the next episode, don't you worry. This has been the Deprogram. I'm Hakeem.
I'm JT, and that's all of us for this week.
Go eat your butter.
Bye, guys.
Eat your butter, boy.